It's 4 p.m. We're bringing developing news and the stories behind the headlines. This is Storycon or the Story Conference. I'm Ed Lingao. Some stories we're watching is Wednesday, midweek, the 4th of December. A Chinese Coast Guard vessel has fired water cannons at a Philippine ship near Bajo de Masinloc this morning. That's during a joint maritime patrol of the Philippine Coast Guard and the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Other Philippine vessels also faced blockage, shadowing, and dangerous maneuvers by both the Chinese Coast Guard and Chinese Navy ships. The Makabayan bloc leads the filing of the second impeachment complaint against VP Sara Duterte today. The group's sole ground for their complaint is the betrayal of public trust. They cited Duterte's alleged abuse of discretionary funds, the lack of transparency, and failure to recognize congressional oversight. And the Philippine Statistics Authority has found no civil registry records for a certain Kokoy Villamin. Villamin is being linked to confidential fund receipts submitted by the Office of the Vice President to the Commission on Audit. Before this, the Philippine Statistics Authority also found no records for Mary Grace Piatos, another recipient supposedly of the OVP's confidential funds. And joining us today, Storycon's resident political pundit all the way from France, Tito Ronald Llamas.
Good morning!
Mukhang giniginaw ka dyan,
Giniginaw ko.
Oo, maniwala ako. Siguro nakatapat ang electric fan sa'yo.
Light na light si Ami. Hindi lang, light na light. Pink na pink.
Ganun ba? Yeah, sige, let's bring in Ami Pamintuan ng Philippine Star. Oo nga, pink na pink si Tita Ami.
Good afternoon dito, Ronald.
Oo. Si Ami hindi nalamig pero si Tito Ronald mukhang balot na balot
Oo nga Akala ko ba may heat wave ngayon dyan sa ibang lugar dyan?
Niloko tayo ni Ronald Tingin ko wala sa France yan Nasa Baguio lang siguro yan
Tagaytay.
Tagaytay.
May eruption doon, palbol kayo na eruption doon.
Kaya ako pumunta hinihintay ko si Ed Hindi naman dumating.
Teka.
Pupuntahan sana namin ni Ed yung bulkan
Teka, Tito Ronald. Bago lahat, Tito Ronald.
Iaalay ko si Ed para tumigil.
Kailangan ng birhen, di ba?
Dapat daw iaalay sa bulkan yung banal. Pag ako tumalon, baka lalong sumabog.
Teka, Tito Ronald, kailangan ko yung iyong matalim na analysis dun sa nangyari kay Anthony Jennings, siya kay Maris Racal, siya kay John Villanueva. Alam mo yun? Alam mo yun?
Ano yun?
Hindi namin kilala yun.
Ay, hindi nyo alam. Kaya talaga, ang hirap kasi pag matatanda na. Nako, yan talaga. Hindi nyo ba alam, yun ang mas mainit na balita ngayon. Hindi yung impeachment complaint.
Hindi ko alam yun. Si Shabushi lang kilala ko.
Hindi. Walang biro.
Akala ko mainit kayo yung filing na Makabayan Block, pero po palang iba.
Hindi yun. Tingnan mo yung Facebook, kasi yung algorithm ninyo naka-tweet sa 1970s.
Kay drama ako
Pasensya na.
This is bigger drama kasi itong long-time girlfriend nata ni Peter Jennings tuloy. Ano to Anthony Jennings, Peter Jennings, sumulangit na broadcaster yun. Nilabas yung mga screenshots ng umano'y mga indiscretions ni Anthony Jennings with Maris Racal.
May picture
You've
ka?
lost me.
Hindi kasi
picture ka?
What's intriguing about it is kasi, okay, I'll do this quickly kasi of course we have bigger things to talk about like the West Philippine Sea and impeachment and all that. So very, very quickly. Kasi itong dalawang ito, si Jennings at si Maris Racal, may pelikula ata. So ang argument itong lalaki, I'm a method actor. So I have to dive deep into the character. That's why meron silang labing-labing. So for the longest time, tinanggap yata ng girlfriend yon until na-realize niya na hindi na method acting ang ginagawa ng lalaki. Picture.
Okay.
What an argument. What an argument, man.
So may mga pictures na nilabas?
May mga pictures din magpa-brief ka kay Manny Magoto. Buti pa si
Sige,
Manny
sige,
Mogato up to
tawagan
date.
ko si
Kaya
Manny
hindi.
kanina.
Ay, talaga.
Wala ko.
Hanggang kay drama lang ako eh.
But anyway,
Akala
moving
ko,
on to...
Abi,
moving on
Abi,
to the...
akala ko ako lang ang Madam Auring eh. Meron pa palang iba.
Boy Abunda. Moving on to the other less important issues in life, nag-file today ng second impeachment complaint ang Makabayan Bloc against
As
VP
expected.
Sara Duterte. Yeah, it's already expected. And no more surprises kasi may nauna ng isa. In the end kasi they'll be consolidating naman all, I suppose, the impeachment complaints that will be filed. And I suppose they just have to set a cutoff. By when do they start consolidating? And how many will they wait for? Pero Bok, ito lang I was looking at the calendar of Congress, Tito Ronald. Ito ang session ng Kongreso ay hanggang hanggang December 20 na lamang. Tapos recess na. Ang balik niya ay January 13 to February 7. Tapos recess na hanggang eleksyon. That leaves you with only 32 session days. If you count Fridays, which you normally don't. If you count the Fridays, tagalawing Friday, kasi hindi pumapasok ang Kongreso ng Friday, 25 session days. Yun lang natitira. So it's going to be, if at all, it will be an uphill battle to move the impeachment complaint forward.
Totoo. It will be uphill, but not impossible.
Well, yeah. In the end, it's a political count, so they can make it as fast or as slow as they want.
Pero may nakausap din ako. Speaking of counting, no? Speaking of counting, may nakausap ako na tao ni Speaker Martin. Kasi hindi siya nagsasalita. Yung bata na lang niya. Ang sabi sa akin, the numbers aren't there.
Talaga? The numbers are not there?
Yun ang sinabi sa akin. Sabi ko, 106 lang yan, Sabi niya, the numbers aren't there.
Talaga? Well, I mean, I think you'd have to revise the numbers. 103 na lang kasi 307 congressmen ang 316 ng seats pero 307 congressmen ang nakaupo
Nawala.
So one-third of that is 102.3 ata, ganun. So round up to 103 for
So very dramatic yun, Very dramatic. Ed, kung ang boboto 104 o 102.
but if they're canvassing for votes and if they're having a hard time looking for the votes, then each vote will count. But you would think that after the supposed meltdown of the VP, you would think na they'd have an easier time. You would think getting the votes.
Pero Ed, malalaman naman natin yan soon Hindi
Soon
naman
ka
yan
ng soon,
tatagal
Talaga,
malalaman natin kung may impeach or hindi in a few days.
In a few days. Pero Tito Ron, ito pa. Ito, Ami, ang chismis ng producer natin si Jan Acosta, ang invite nating guest sana for this afternoon, yung si Luistro, si Congresswoman Luistro at si Joe Chua, may meeting sa Malacanang. So they cannot guest in our show. And they're in the Justice Committee, I think, if I understand correctly. So baka may narinig si Ronald dyan, all the way from France. Wala pa.
Layo ko
Ikaw pa.
Nag-enjoy ako rito sa mga bulaklak.
Sige. Pero as soon as meron kang matindihan pasa mo naman sa amin. Pero yun, I think that might be a new development in the offing. May meeting sila sa Malacanang with the key congressional leaders. So
mukhang hindi naman ipapakaw.
Baka naman budget yan.
Kung walang sasabihin.
Okay.
Yung hindi nakalagay dun sa text message.
Yun.
Yung wala sa text message.
What is not said is sometimes more important than what is said.
Minsan mas importante yung unsaid kaysa sa said.
Mga Bok, teka, si Marymon ng ating mobile journal, si Marymon Reyes is now waiting for us live coming from, I think, Congress, right? Marymon, you're in Congress? Okay, Marymon, tell us what's happening there. May balita na ba kung anong nangyayari dyan at anong mangyayari dyan sa impeachment complaints?
Yes, Sir Ed, Sir Ronald, and Miss Ami. Kanina lang around 3:30 natapos na yung formal na filing ng second impeachment complaint dito sa Padasang Pambansa Complex. And over 70 yung mga nakita natin na pumunta dito. Pinangunahan nga ito ng bagong alyansang Makabayan Bloc, kasabay ng mga miyembro na binubuo ng kabataan at matatanda mula sa iba't ibang civic groups at organizations. Iisa lang ang kanilang ground for impeachment na inihain. And ang nasabi dito ni Attorney Nery Colmenares, ito nga raw ay para mapabilis na yung proseso, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa impeachment complaint na ito. Yung ground for impeachment sa final nila ay betrayal of public trust. Pero sa ilalim nito, meron 3 articles of impeachment. Ito yung gross abuse of discretionary powers over 612.5 million confidential funds, gross disregard of transparency and accountability, making a mockery of the audit process, at dereliction of official duty with her refusal to recognize congressional oversight during budget deliberations and its authority to conduct inquiries on aid in aid of legislation. So sa kanila, isa sa pinakaminamata nila dito ay yung pag-aabuso sa kapangyarihan bilang ikalawang Pangulo ni VP Sara Duterte. At dito nila dinidiin na sa ground for impeachment na ito, malinaw na raw yung mga paglalabag ni VP Sara sa konstitusyon at saka pagdating dito sa confidential funds na hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa rin malinaw kung saan nga ba napunta o nagamit. Back sa inyo.
Merimon, okay, so that's the second to be filed. Any idea? Well, I don't know if you have an answer to this, but I'll try anyway. Any idea kung hanggang kailan mag-iintay ang Kongreso bago sila magsimula mag-consolidate? Kasi hindi mo pwedeng isa-isahin yung mga yun. Kailangan mo pagsama-sama yan into one complaint for consideration. So
Yes, Sir Ed. Actually, isa pa sa kino-consider natin dito ay yung holiday break na mapapalapit na. So, mahihinto na yung mga session. Babalik na lang around January. So, medyo limited na talaga yung oras. Pero kanina kasi hindi tayo nakakuha ng pagkakataon na matanong si House Secretary General Reginald Velasco tungkol dito. Pero ang malinaw sa ngayon na sunod na hakbangin ay titignan na nila kung paano na ngayon iikot itong impeachment complaint. And for the side naman ng Makabayan Bloc tsaka yung mga miyembro ng grupo na yung complainants na pumirma rito, ang sunod naman na raw nilang gagawin ay hihikayatin ang mga kongresista para makuha yung kanilang boto. At the same time, yung mga sentimiento raw ng mga tao na maririnig at nais nilang mapakinggan sila sa reklamo ito.
Merimon, may nababalitaan ka ba na any initiative para i-fast track yung impeachment kapareho ng ginawa ni Manny Villar when he was the speaker? Nagpapapirma na lang. Meron ka ba nababalitaan na ganyan ngayon?
So for Ms. Ami, wala pa sa ngayon. Pero ang tinitingnan nga dito kanina na nabanggit ni Atty. Nery Colmenares, sana nga raw ay mapabilis na yung pagproseso nito. Kasi para sa kanila, iisa na lang yung ground for impeachment, may 3 na lang na articles of impeachment na kasama rito. Ang kinumpare pa nga dito yung kaso dati ni Corona, yung impeachment case niya kung saan medyo napatagal, inabot ng 4 na buwan dahil doon sa 8 grounds for impeachment at saka yung mga articles pa na underlying dito. So they're hoping na itong impeachment complaint nila kasabay o kasama nung unang impeachment complaint na final naman na akbayan na party list ay mas mapapabilis na raw yung pagpoproseso dito.
24 counts
Paano yung process niyan? Sino magko-consolidate niyan? Yung nag-endorse ba? O yung dalawang grupo magsasama para mag-consolidate? Paano yung process nun?
Ms. Ami, wala pa tayong ibang detalye tungkol dito. Pero ang malinaw sa ngayon, within 10 days ng receipt dito sa House of Representatives ng complaints, dapat magkaroon na sila ng initial action para dito. Pagkatapos ito, may endorse na ito supposedly sa House Speaker at may ikot na ito ngayon sa Committee on Rules. Pero tititignan nga rin natin na since magkakaroon sila ng holiday break, aabutin ito sa susunod na buwan. Pero tititignan din natin kung kakayanin pa raw ba talaga itong ma-accommodate, lalong-lalo na sa Senado.
That's within 10 days, kailangan ma-refer na to the appropriate committee. 10 days from the filing. And within 3 days after referral, the committee should already start acting on it. After which the committee has 60 days or 2 months to consider. So may ganun ano.
Merimon, yung kwentong chichirya, wala ba kayo nararamdaman dyan? Sense of the House. Will they get the numbers?
So for Ms. Ami, wala pa. Pero pagdating naman dito, ang sinasabi kanina ng Makabayan Bloc, lahat daw ng mga ebidensya, testimonies, transcripts, documents, kompleto sa kanilang ifinal na impeachment complaint. So they are seeing na itong mga ebidensya na ito, mailalaban daw yung impeachment complaint nila. Pero tungkol naman dito kanila, Mary Grace Piatos at sa iba, hindi na ito napag-usapan kanina.
Kasi ang sabi, yung mga nangyari daw nung Mayor Pasid, ay nung hindi pa Vice President si Sara Duterte, dapat daw tinanggal na lang yon. Para nga mabawasan, no? Mas mapabilis.
24 counts yung yung final ng
Oo.
first filing eh.
Mas maganda daw kung bawasan para mabilis yung process kahit itapon sa Senado. At least konti na lang yung itutry nilang mga issues, ano? Meron din bang ganung usapan among the complainants?
Miss Ami, kanina bukod sa mga may narinig tayo mula sa labor, mula sa education sector, may ilan din kanina nagre-representa doon naman sa fallen EJK victims at sinasabi nga may alleged na involvement itong si VP Sara noong siya naman ay alkalde sa Davao City. So lahat ng ito nakapailalim na ito doon sa nag-iisang round for impeachment na ifinal ng Makabayan Bloc pati ng mga representatives na over 74 to 75 sila kanina na pumirma at nag-vote.
Okay. Okay. So,
Okay.
any news kung meron pang third complaint that will be filed o wala pa? It's too early to say.
Sir Ed, wala pa. Pero ang sinasabi dito kanina ng grupo na nakita natin, hinihikayat na raw nila na yung iba pang may gusto pang magbanggit o magsabi ng kanilang mga sentimiento tungkol sa issue na ito, naasahan daw nila o ini-encourage nila na mag-step forward at magsalita na rin daw.
Okay, between today, December 4, and yung adjournment for recess, they have 2.5 weeks. December 20 kasi ang recess. Well, 21 actually, yung recess. So, yan ang babantayan natin. Sabi nga ni Tito Ronald, abangan yan next few days. Tito Ronald, baka may pang chismis dyan. Ayaw mo na sabihin sa amin ko naman, no?
Oo nga eh.
Well, hindi lang yung Justice Committee ang pumunta ng Malacanang eh. Marami.
Talaga?
So ano yun? Sasabihan sila na huwag ituloy or sasabihan sila na go. No? Kaya mahalaga yung meeting na yun. Medyo yun eh, writing on the wall. Or ukit on the wall.
So we may have some signals by today.
Ang sa Malacanang, parang lahat ng committees nandun eh. Alamin nyo. Ako naman.
Abangan natin ngayon yan. That's a running story.
Nakuha ko lang sa hangin. Pero marami. Bilangin nyo.
Running story yan today. Iniintay pa natin nga yung resulta kasi hindi naman nila pwede itago kung ano nangyari. So maghihintay tayo ng announcement kung ano yung napag-usapan dyan sa Malacanang. Kasi mag-iiba yan sa sinabi ni President Marcos, hindi ba?
Oo nga eh.
Kung sakasakali lang naman na mag-iiba nga.
Pwede namang hindi mag-iba.
Pwede hindi mag-iba.
Mag-iba.
Ang
So, hinihintay natin.
mahalaga lang, marami ang pumunta sa Malacanang. Hindi lang sila Luistro. Na ako lang naman nabalitaan ko sa isang bubuit dito.
Talaga? Grabe yung bubit
Kwentong
mo.
chichirya yan.
Okay. Sige, Tito Ronald. Let's see if Congress will have a modicum of independence to show after
Modicum,
today's meeting.
sabi ni Ed, modicum of independence. No? At tingin ko naman, ongoing yung modicum. Hirap. Ano ba spelling nun, Ed? Yung modicum. Paano ba yun? Latin ba yun? Latin?
Ayoko spellingin, baka mag-wrong spelling pa ako eh. Okay. Okay, Marymon. Sige, okay na tayo dyan. Marymon, wala na tayong aasahan.
Wala na, Sir Ed. Wala na.
Okay, balita
Thank you,
mo kami, Marymon.
Marymon.
Baka sakaling may mga chismis
Thank
ka
you,
dyan,
Marymon.
baka may umuwi ng maaga. Maraming salamat, Marymon Reyes, reporting live from the House of Representatives. So, yun, Tito Ronald, yung corona impeachment trial took over 4 months.
5
Just
months.
the trial
Yeah.
lang. Well, 5 months if you include the impeachment in the lower chamber. Took 4 months. For ilang counts yun? 8 counts ba? Ito 24 plus. Meron pang
Ang dami.
Pacquiao.
Dapat iksyan na lang nila, no?
Panyang Pacquiawan.
Pinakyaw eh. Medyo pinakyaw eh. So, and plus, yun nga eh, this is an election year by January.
Yes.
By
Kampanya eh.
Oo. Ito po by January, saan na ba yun? I listed it down eh. By January this year, election period na. By February 11, national positions campaign na. By March 28, local positions campaign na. So,
Tama.
kahit magsipag ang Kongreso at magtrabaho beyond yung recess. Ang recess niya ata February first week eh. Papasok kaya sila.
Parang walang believe ka sa Kongreso na masipag.
Hindi
Parang
ko masipag sila mga kampanya. Hindi ko sinabing hindi sila masipag. It's a matter of priorities, you know. In the end, it's a matter of priorities. What's more? Bok, you have to agree with me. In the end, magsisipag ka kung saan mo tingin na meron kang advantage.
Tama.
That or kung saan tingin mo mas may advantage ang iyong bayan. Mamili ka kung alin doon.
Medyo kaunti yun, yung sa bayan.
mamili ka kung alin doon.
Mukhang hindi ganun karami yun, di ba, Ami?
Konting-konti yun. Konting-konti yun.
So I suppose you might expect na the legislators who are running for re-election will have this weighing on their minds when they start going out for a campaign. How will their constituents react? Depending on whichever side they take in the impeachment trial.
Kaya nga, Ed, Ami, either mangyari yung impeachment ngayon o hindi na siya mangyari.
Ito ang sinasabi mo nga, kung after elections,
Do or die siya, do or die. Pag hindi natuloy, wala na yan.
Tito Ronald, can you expand on that? Expound on that some more. Why is it more difficult to push another impeachment complaint if lumagpas ang midterm elections? Pag new set of legislators na naman, I suppose because they're looking at 2028 already. So why is it more difficult to push an impeachment then?
Well, dalawa. Una, during or before the midterms, very powerful yung presidente.
Yeah.
Very powerful. No? Yung kanyang suasion ay the most powerful sa panahon ng kanyang termino. Ikalawa, election year. Ibig sabihin, maraming kailangan yung mga tatakbo. Kailangan nila ng tupad, kailangan nila ng ayuda, kailangan nila ng hikes, kailangan on time yung kanilang internal revenue allotment, kailangan maaprubahan yung national budget at may implement, no? Dapat maraming mga flood control projects
or infra
dahil
projects.
babaha next year eh. No, maraming baha next year.
Sa summer.
So may ganun
Abaan ng pera.
Ganun switch. Uy, wala akong sinabi ganun, Ami, ha? So, ganun, no? After ng midterms, kung sino yung mataas sa survey, number 1, number 2, going into 2028 presidential election, kwanyan. Diyan pupunta yung mga politiko.
Talo na yan.
Unti-unti magiging lame duck yung presidente. Or medyo hindi unti-unti, pwedeng mabilis. Halimbawa, kung mag-survive si Sara, magkakaroon siya ng momentum. O sasabihin niya, dalampasan ko ito. Dalampasan ko yung pag-oppress sa akin. No? In spite of everything. So magkakaroon siya ng momentum. At yung mga umalis sa kanila, pwedeng bumalik after the midterms. So, go for the jugular. Kung hindi, ay dahil lalo na, hindi naman malinaw kung sino yung presidential candidate ng administrasyon. No? So,
hindi pa ba?
After the midterms, medyo ka na yan.
Hindi
medyo
pa malinaw?
bago na yung political alignment. Hindi na yan.
Akala ko sabi ni Sara, meron na siyang suspecha eh. Di ba? May suspecha na siya kung sino yung gustong ipalit sa kanya eh. Ipalit kay President Marcos, I mean. In fact, yan ang suspecha niya na gustong ipalit sa kanya kung ma-impeach siya, di ba?
At saka, Ami, hindi lang ito domestic politics. This is regional. This is international. The hub of the world is now here in our region. Dito yung banggaan ng dalawang superpower. So, very crucial yung election sa atin. Dahil clearly, pro-China yung mga Duterte at pro-US yung mga Marcos. So labanan nito hindi lang dito, hindi lang domestic politics. It is regional. Baka sa tagal ko sa politika, ngayon lang ako nakakita na ganito ka-active ang dalawang superpower.
Okay. Hindi ko malaman kung... Matutuwa ako sa sinabi mo, hindi. Akademik ko nausap talaga kahit kailan.
So hindi modicum yun, ha? Hindi modicum.
Pero kahit ngayon, alam mo, yung mga kandidato in 2025, iniisip din nila yung suporta from, malakas pa rin sa Mindanao yung mga Dutertes eh.
Yes.
Iniisip din nila yan eh. Iniisip din nila kaya hindi nila mabangga ng dire-diretso eh. lalo na yung mga politiko from that area, malakas pa rin kahit anong sabihin mo in that region. And it's a vote-rich region. Kaya iniisip nila, kahit ma-eliminate si Sara, iisipin nila, nako, yung si Rodrigo Duterte will be campaigning actively for those who go after his daughter. Kaya iniisip din nila yan.
Kaya Ami, mga 2/3 or less than 2/3, pwedeng hindi sila bumoto to save them.
Kaya
Pwede
nga,
may ganung klase
para
ng
walang
arrangement eh. Yung 1/3, ito yung secure. Diba?
Yeah.
Kahit kumampaign si Digong sa kanila. So ganyan yung bilangan na yan. Tapos yung less than 2/3, ito yung mga delikado. Or one-half.
Kaya medyo mas uncertain yung voting kung sakasakali sa Senate. Kasi national yung constituency nila eh. Niisip nila yan eh, baka sumemplang ako sa Mindanao.
Yes.
Diba? Yan ang problema dyan. In fact, meron ng mga naglilista ngayon ng siyam na sigurado daw na hindi boboto eh.
Yes.
Whatever the result of the impeachment evidence na ipresenta sa kanila, binilang na, nilista na eh. Nilista na siyam, hindi boboto.
Pwede, no? Pero sa ating politika kasi, Ami, walang final eh.
Sabagay. Kaya lang, pagdating sa eleksyon, yan yun eh. Malakas yung dating man eh.
Halimbawa, yung matatapos ang term sa 2028, hindi nila masyadong concern yon. Yung mga tapos ang term, no? Tapos yung mga yung mga tatakbo sa 2028, iniisip nila ay ayaw nila ma-antagonize yung Duterte, pero ayaw din nila ma-antagonize yung ibang voting blocks na anti-Duterte. Diba? So balancing yan eh. No, baka kasi hindi sila bumoto sa impeachment, pero magalit naman sa kanila yung mga pro-Marcos or yung mga anti-Duterte na hindi pro-Marcos. So it's a matter of calculation.
Ano Bok, to Ami's point kanina, ang Mindanao having a huge chunk of a voting bloc. Mindanao comprises 23% of the registered voters all over the country. 23% versus, for example, Visayas, 21%. So
malakas din sila Digong dyan. Malakas din sila dyan.
Pero sa lahat ng surveys, Ami, dramatic yung pagbaba ni Sara sa Visayas. Nagulat ako eh.
Although, yun na nga, malakas din kasi doon yung... Depende yun doon sa maana yung Cebu sa yung... Of course, the Romualdezes are also active in the Visayas. Kaya yan, medyo split siya ngayon. Split siya. Pero yung Rodrigo Duterte mismo, malakas pa rin doon. Kasi si Sara mismo, hindi siya ang nagdadala niyang pangalan eh. Talagang the former president pa rin.
Kaya yun yung balancing nila. Yun yung balancing nila, Ami eh. Kung may ganitong 30% na delikado sila, ano naman yung 70%? Kung merong 30% na ang threat ay hindi sila iboboto, ano naman yung 70%? No? Ano naman yung 70%?
Nawala ako.
Hindi, niya ka pa. Hindi ka namin eh.
Ganun ba? Nawala lang yung medyo akala ko. Pinapaayos ko. Sige.
Baka ano sabihin mo daw kay Ate Jennings ha?
Ayusin ko muna yung video ko. Nawala lang pala yung video. Sige.
All the way from
Gay
Viva la France.
Gay Paris.
Gay Paris. Teka, Bok, itong nangyari kasi may nangyari na namang water cannoning dun sa may Scarborough Shoal, Bajo de Masinloc. But this time it's not just the Chinese Coast Guard. Meron daw according to the joint PCG-BFAR statement.
Navy and militia.
The PCG vessels, including the Teresa Magbanwa, faced blocking, shadowing, and dangerous maneuvers from PLA Navy Vessel 500 and Chinese Coast Guard 503. Bago ba yun? I mean, I remember before the Navy the Chinese Navy would shadow, for example, yung Christmas convoy, but they were not directly involved in blocking, at least during our time. Blocking or dangerous maneuvers mismo. It was the Chinese Coast Guard. I'm wondering lang if this is a leveling up by any chance by the gray ships.
Medyo lumapit lang sila. Laging
Medyo
kasama
lumapit, no?
naman yung mga yan. Backup yan eh. Backup yan ng mga ano nila. Lagi silang kasama.
Pero nakita natin, Ami, Ed, itong past few months, medyo wala masyadong incident.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah. It's been
At
quiet.
nakita natin na yung parang
Nawala uli yung video.
no? Non-agreement. Wala kasi nag-admit eh. Non-agreement between the Philippines and China on ayungin in terms of resupply, nagpapatuloy. No? Walang incident doon. Kaya yung ganitong incident is significant. No? Baka nag-i-scale up sila dahil din sa domestic politics natin. Wala akong naisip pahiwatig, no? Pero yung scaling up na yan can be significant.
Domestic politics is referring to yung banggaan ng Duterte and the administration, I suppose. Tumutungo ka lang eh. I need audio, man. I need audio. Tito Ronald, sutil ka talaga. At teka, Tito Ronald, Tita Ami, we have Chester Cabalza, Professor Chester Cabalza, Maritime Security Expert on the line. Sir, magandang hapon and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Magandang hapon po. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita mo din sa akin.
Yes, sir. Sir, ito nga, sabi nga ni Tito Ronald, it's been a while since we heard any kiskisan between our forces and the Chinese Maritime Militia and the Chinese Coast Guard and, of course, the Chinese Navy dun sa West Philippine Sea. So what makes today's incident different? Why are we suddenly hearing about this?
Remember, I told you last time, there was an intention from China that they really wanted to get this Scarborough Shoal. Natatanda niyo yung mga sinasabi ko noon na isa yan sa mga gusto lang kunin. Although there was an agreement. And they allowed us to continue with the Rore in Ayungin Shoal. But at the same time, since they are in control of the Scarborough Shoal since 2012. Yeah. I think they have an intention for it. Remember, there is that triangular strategy from Scarborough Shoal to the Paracels to the Strathclyde. So they wanted to cement those their presence in those docks, mainly because they wanted to assert that they have the total ownership of the South China Sea. But of course, no. If you try to look at the international law, that would not apply. The regime, the dash line regime of China, because we have the arbitral ruling, and of course, Panakot, and of course, Scarborough Shoal has been part of our cartographic maps. No, so ever since that has been seen in different treatises worldwide. And that has been pronounced as part of the Philippines.
Pero sir, you're looking at an incident 16 nautical miles from Bajo de Masinloc. It's not exactly that near to Bajo de Masinloc. Why are they that aggressive, that far away from Bajo?
They are aggressive because they think that they are in control of the atoll, and at the same time, the part kasi ng kanilang propaganda yan na pag-aari nila yan, no, doon sa 9-dash line nila, which is now 10-dash line, no. But of course, if you try to look at it, it's part of the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. Even it's not within the territorial waters, it's still part of the economic exclusive zone. So ibig sabihin, meron tayong mga batas doon na dapat nire-respeto, no. We cannot just allow that China will continue with their aggression and of course with their invasion tactics. That's the reason why we are not giving up on this Scarborough Shoal.
Tsaka Chester, di ba?
Ang pakalat ngayon, Mr. Cabalza, naghahanda na daw actually in China to turn Scarborough into a military base. Meron din ba kayo, are you getting that kind of story also?
Diba, yeah, di ba, there was a time that meron na silang plananong dyan, yung underwater bridge from Masinloc going to, from Bajo de Masinloc going to Zambales. And I think talagang nakatutok talaga sila doon. Remember, ang sabi nila noon, nung nasa China ako, is we will, I think this is a reaction, no, dun sa nangyayari ngayon na yung presence of the typhoon in the north, and at the same time, yung kanilang sinabi nila noon na if you will not stop us in a Yungin Shoal, then we will resort to get Scarborough Shoal from you, from the Philippines, basically. Oo. So there has been a military plan for it. So
Diba,
talagang
Chester,
kunin talaga nila yun sa atin. Yeah.
Di ba habang nangyayari ito, nitong past week, nag-scale up din sila sa Pag-asa, around Pag-asa. So hindi lang ito sa Baho de Masinloc. It's almost the entire West Philippine Sea. May scaling up. No?
Yes. And they're doing it for the reason that, of course, no, they're still challenging us, no? The mere fact that there is an incoming Trump administration, and at the same time, medyo nagiging mas malinaw na yung policy of Trump when it comes to the West Philippine Sea, to the South China Sea, and of course to the Indo-Pacific strategy. That the president-elect of the U.S. Will focus on this region. So I think that's part of their strategy to secure the fortress of their military prowess.
So, yun nga tatanong ko parang related nga siya dun sa election ni Trump, ano? And his selection of his cabinet members na puro China hawk. So itong scale up na to, are they trying to send a message kaya to Washington as well? Well, apart from us, alam naman natin na ginagawa nila yan Pero you think it's also part of the messaging to Washington, the incoming White House?
Yes, it could be part of that optics and messaging. That's the reason why they wanted to show off that they have this, they're flexing their military muscle. But at the same time, of course, no, you see also the alliances in the region, no. Lately, nakita rin natin yung Russian submarine, and the Russian submarine has been doing exercises with Malaysia and Indonesia. So itong region talaga natin will become the battleground, no, of hegemonic rivalry among these powers. I do agree that of course these are China hawks, no, itong mga soon to be appointed by President-elect Trump. And I think China now is trying to position itself on how they will try to assert their presence in the West Philippines.
Hypothetical, Chester, kung magkakaroon ng gulo dito sa ating bansa, kung magkakaroon ng rupture sa ating domestic politics, no? Halimbawa, merong magkaupan dyan, may magke-create ng trigger. Hindi ba yan i-maximize ng China?
Alam mo, ito yung pinagkaiba nung EDSA People Power 1 and EDSA People Power 2. Walang power rivalry between China and the US. But this time, it's so unique. Kasi nagbago yung regional dynamics. Kaya maingat tayo dapat ngayon because even if it's a local politics issue, it can become a regional and global politics. So most likely, yes, we are seeing that kind of political dynamics, and we will see that the Philippines will become how would I say it? No, siguro
a battleground,
a hotspot, a battleground, and a political hotspot for this hegemonic rivalry of the two superpowers.
Okay, Prof, with what's happening now, nangungulit naman China. What should we be doing about this? If we should be doing anything about it beyond what we're already doing right now?
Well, of course, just like yung ano pa rin natin, of course, no, we are not cutting ties with China, right? Diplomatically speaking. Right now, we only have a strategic problem with them. We continue with our dialogue. Of course, no, yung diplomatic and economic relations natin, dapat skillful yung mga diplomats natin and our generals, no? We need intelligent generals and diplomats right now. And of course, dapat magaling din ang ating presidente on how to navigate this regional dynamics. Of course, hindi pa naman huli ang lahat dahil I think this is just the beginning of a new era. No? Remember that Trump is returning to power And Jinping is trying to, of course, increase its hegemony in the region. That's the reason why he has been using the economy as a way of getting and of course spreading its influence to the region. So kung titingnan talaga natin, it's 9/1 ngayon ang ratio between China versus US. So mukhang amongst the like-minded nations in this part of the world, mukhang tayo lang ng US at ng Pilipinas ang lumalaban against China's aggression. Our neighbors have been quiet. They are mum about the territorial and maritime disputes because they are aligned with the economic ambitions of China. So we'll see these dynamics, how it can turn into more opportunities for the Philippines. But right now, we are seeing a widening Indo-Pacific. Of course, where the Philippines is at the heart of this newly fashioned region.
Okay.
Ano kayang maaasahan nating reaction from the US? Although meron na silang statement, of course, condemning.
Yes.
Pero ano kaya kasi, remember, yung defense chief nila recently disclosed na meron na nga silang task force ayungin eh. Although medyo clarify nila kung anong involvement niyan.
Bakit pa kaya tinawag
ang
task force?
ang naririnig nating statement is still coming from the Biden administration. We have yet to hear what Trump will say to this relationship, what kind of dynamism of the ironclad commitment that they are giving to us. Is it the same as what Biden has given to us? Or it's just an alternative option that they will offer to the Philippines. So yun yung inaantay po natin.
Katulad nga ng sinabi mo kanina, Chester, medyo yung indications, wala masyadong magbabago. Baka nga mag-scale up pa eh. Dahil yung mga yung i-appoint ni Trump, puro hawks eh. Puro anti-China hawks. Di ba? Kaya at least yung indication na yun, pinapakita na walang masyadong magbabago.
Yeah, definitely, most likely ganun, I think mas intensified ngayon at kailangan maganda tayo. And we have to, let's not underestimate this situation because we have a current local politics dilemma right now. I-consider natin ito na hindi lang siya local politics na problema ng Pilipinas, that this is also it has also impacts on the regional security of the Indo-Pacific.
Okay, maraming salamat, Maritime Security Expert Professor Chester Cabalza. Thank you for joining us, sir, this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Salamat, Prof.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you po. Okay.
Okay, mainit man ang kiskisan dyan sa West Philippine Sea, mas mainit pa rin ang kiskisan sa pagitan ni Anthony Jennings at ni Jam Villanueva. I suggest that two of you should
parang may role yung dalawang superpower doon. Sino ba kakampi ng China? Sino kakampi ng US?
Tsaka merong national implications to kasi you have to look at the implications on the Data Privacy Act.
Data privacy,
Kasi nag-share ng screenshots eh. And it is of great significance to a vast majority of Filipinos because of the legal
criminal offense yun doon sa Data Privacy Act.
Diyan magsisimula ang global conflict.
Pero may exceptions doon sa data privacy when it comes especially to, for example, incidents of VAUSI, of violence against women and children. And VAUSI does not just include married couples, but it also includes girlfriends and boyfriends. So kung may VAUSI implications, maaaring maging exception.
Mas malala yun. Matindi ang dyan, matindi ang penalties dyan sa violence against women and children. Matindi. Very, very pro-women.
So may ganung legal dynamics yan. Huwag niyo pinagtatawanan ng mga ganung bagay.
Natupad din yung gusto mong pag-usapan,
Hindi sa gusto kong pag-usapan. Sabi ni Manny Mogoto kasi malaking bagay ito eh. Kailangan daw malaman ng taong bayan.
Pero importante, lalo na sa mga bata ngayon,
kasi hilig niyo mag-cellphone.
Mahilig sila kahit sa mga private acts. Lahat nire-record.
Tapos binibidyo.
Tapos magugulat sila na kasi pinagkakatiwala dun sa whoever, kung sino yung kasama
Tapos magkakaroon
Nagulat na lang
ng
sila.
tawag nila dyan, revenge porn.
Kaya mag-iingat na lang yung mga mahilig sa ganyan.
Ewan ko sa inyo. Kasi panahon ko, Betamax pa yun eh.
Ed, marami ngayong revenge porn.
Ewan ko sa inyo. Ako kasi panahon ko
Buti na lang.
Betamax eh. Malaki-laki yung camera eh. Actually, cannot afford the camera.
Noon nga, ang dami na eh. Kahit noon pa, marami na eh.
Oo, ngayon, mas...
Eh di
mas
lalo na
malakas.
ngayon.
Oo, ang
Lalo na
liit
ngayon.
lang na maliliit na lang ang kwan ngayon, camera. Pwedeng dot.
Oo.
Pwedeng dot
Meron pa nga yung mga surveillance na maliliit, mabibili mo lang dyan sa mall.
Parang tuldok lang. No?
Oy,
Oo, yung ganun lang, mabibili mo sa mall.
Stop
Oo.
giving ideas at kailangan tayong kailangan tayong mag-goodbye. Masyadong ginagalaan sa usapan
Oo,
natin.
buti na lang, parang single blessedness.
Buti lang nasa France
Sa
ka.
France. Sa France.
Okay, maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa. Si Tito Ronald Llamas, ang ating papalicious all the way from France. At si Tita Ami Pamintuan. Tita Ami Pamintuan ng Philippine Star. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Storycon. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News, all sides, all the time.
This is the Story Conference Group or the Storycon Group.